join us this morning. Coach, if you begin with the opening statement ahead of this week's game at Toledo, and then we'll open up for questions.
Yeah, to recap, homecoming, thought the guys executed the plan the coaches laid out for them all week. Did an outstanding job in the execution of that plan, and the reward was a really great result, and able to celebrate that win and energize some people around campus, which was fun. Turning our attention ahead, Toledo, really good football team coming off of a tough, rivalry loss in those games. I've been a part of that game at a prior stop, and this is a hungry football team. We've got a hungry football team. Excited, to keep our streak going here in MAC play.
Coach, how big was it to have Dusty Morrell back at that center position on your offensive line, and kind of what does he do with him back in the lineup?
Yeah, huge. Dusty's an excellent player. He's been an excellent player here. His leadership, his calm, his sense of calmness, really sets the tone for that entire group. Super physical, at the center position, and his ability to get those five guys on the same page made a huge difference on Saturday.
Can you provide an update for us on Matt Pagist and his injury? I know he was out on Saturday.
Yeah, he'll rejoin us this week. Was in protocol, following the game at Oklahoma. He's responded well. He'll rejoin us this week, and look forward to getting him back amongst some others.
Yeah, Jackson Dunn has really been filling in either at one guard spot, specifically the right guard spot. So how has he kind of stepped into that role when Dusty was out, and now with Matt out, you moved Ashton over to left?
Yeah, those are those guys. The secret to offensive line play, successful offensive line play, right, is getting five guys to play together as one. And as you're moving guys in and out, sometimes that becomes a challenge. Especially from center, out of center, the battery is super critical. And by battery, I mean the quarterback center, start to every play, right? To get Dusty back is huge, but allow Ashton to move to his natural guard spot. He played a little bit out of position being a left guard. He's used to playing right guard. Jackson Dunn has done an outstanding job, in his continued development. He's going to continue to get better and better. Technique, suffers on occasion, but guy plays really hard. He's got a bright future here. As he continues to grow and develop, Matt gets healthy, Ashton gets healthy. Tyler Meadows has settled in nicely, as a true freshman to that left tackle spot. Garrett Masterson's been really good. But to get, Jamarcus Hill back in the mix, he was a starting tackle earlier in the year. He's playing some guard. Junior Diallo continues to get better and better. I really think the best is yet to come for that group, for us up front.
Deshaun Martin was a receiver earlier in the year. The first couple weeks, it didn't get as many opportunities as one might think. Now he's really starting to star in the offense, second on your team in receiving yards behind Cade Wolford. What is it about him that's allowed him to grow the last few weeks?
Yeah, I think, credit to him. He's kept his head down and continued to continue to work, right? Having a successful freshman year, earned some all-conference notoriety as a return guy. You come into this fall with some expectations, right? And when those aren't being met early, it's easy to pout and maybe turn your back on things or people. And he hasn't. He's just put his head down and continued to work. You see the ball being spread around. It's crazy to me that Wayne Harris hasn't scored a touchdown yet. But 4 different receivers caught touchdowns this week. Deshaun in the mix, Ardell Banks, Tarek Mulder, Sebastian Brown got going. Darius Clark is in and out of the lineup. J.J. Etheridge is in and out of the lineup. Cade, obviously. We've got a lot of guys that are really good skill players. And, there's only one ball, right?
Yeah.
But they're doing a great job in keeping each other motivated and pushing one another to get better on a day-in, day-out basis.
According to advanced stats, Coach, Kent State got pressure 44% of the time when they did not blitz. That was top 10 in the country, at least this past week in college football.
Mm-hmm.
You guys did blitz a fair amount, at least the last couple of weeks against Oklahoma and UMass.
Yeah.
What has Coach Valeria done to kind of switch things up maybe a little bit and really have a lot of success pressure-wise the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, that was one of our our focus points going into the UMass game was to pressure on early downs, and he's done a great job. Coach Key's done a great job. In the weekly third down pressure plan, right? But to carry that over into first down and second down and normal down and distance situations was critical for us. And credit to him and the entire staff, Coach Snyder, Coach Malk, Coach Goat, I call him Bart Tansky, Coach Tierlink. We mixed up the pressures, right? I think we created what ultimately became 9 or 10 different pressure paths, that were new for the week. And, again, going back to the execution part, the way the guys executed is a credit to the staff and the way they taught it and practiced it, and got the guys on the same page. And, to get pressure without blitzing an extra rusher is critical. And Jamon and Thomas Aiden played a whale of a game. Stretch Carroll, AJ Campbell. We're deep at that position, and I think that's starting to show up.
My last question for you, Coach. This is going to be your first road game that's not in front of 60,000 or more fans. So how much do you think those environments could potentially help prepare you guys for your first MAC road game this year?
Yeah, just the experience of being on the road together, right? Anytime you go on the road, it's more difficult to win, right? The friendly confines of Dick Stadium don't get to come with you, and our home environment has been outstanding. I've been to the Glass Bowl before. It's a fun environment. They're a really good team. It's another great challenge for us, right? But adversity brings this group close together, and it has all year. Whether you go into a top 5 place or an in-league opponent, going on the road is a challenge, but our guys love challenge.
Go ahead, Gage. Gage, you have your hand up for a question. Rob?
Can you hear me, Josh?
Go ahead.
Coach?
Yep. Go ahead.
Coach, what's the overall vibe of your guys' locker room right now? I mean, when I saw you guys at the post-game presser, obviously you guys just came off the win. Now that you're heading towards the week, is it all business? Or are you guys sort of realizing, your potential in the MAC?
I think we have realized our potential in the MAC. Our locker room is together. Our locker room is focused. Whether it's a win or a loss, you give yourself 24 hours to celebrate it or lament it or whatever. And now it's a new week. So excited for the challenge ahead that Toledo presents.
And overall, Toledo as a team, what do you think their biggest strengths are on either side of the ball?
Yeah. One, I think they play extremely well together on both sides of the ball. This is a team that's lost a couple of conference games and haven't given up many yards defensively, right? There's been some trick plays that got behind them and, took advantage of, some undisciplined eyes at times. But this is a really good football team, and we are too, and we know that. Our guys are excited for the challenge and looking forward to getting after it.
Thank you, Coach.
Absolutely.
Rob, any questions?
Yeah, Coach, UMass was 5 of 12 in the first half on third downs, and in the second half, just 1 of 8. Was there anything in your, after you guys saw the film and looked at it, what was the difference? Why were you able to flip that script so much?
Yeah, I think, again, credit to Coach Key and the defensive staff for changing what the quarterback was seeing. We're a little man heavy with our pressure coverage in the first half, and I think we changed that up and played a little more zone behind pressure looks. And I think that whenever you can change the way the center and the quarterback see your defense from a pre-snap to post-snap presentation, allows the pass rush an extra beat to get home. So we took advantage of that.
I was kind of curious about the locker room at halftime after that, kind of a strange and way to end the first half, and to come out like you did in the third quarter, and dominate them in the third quarter. Can you just talk about that a little bit, and how important was that, after the last couple minutes of the first half to flip that script right away in the third quarter?
Yeah, I think as we continue to grow as a program, the guys are understanding that there's a certain standard we play to, right? No matter who our opponent is, and we weren't pleased with the way we played to that standard to end the first half, and challenged each other in the locker room to be better, and I think everybody responded.
And to get Newman and Garcia, on the field together, I shouldn't say together, but just both having them available,
Yeah.
they're 1-2. How much does that help Drew in the passing game, and did that lead to the passing game being as efficient as it was?
Yeah, I didn't think. I thought this was Drew's worst game of the year, honestly. Threw 4 touchdowns and 10 completions. I thought we missed a couple throws that he can make and we should make. But to be able to rely on your running game, and we already talked about the offensive line, but having 2 veteran backs running in there, helping each other on the sidelines with seeing how the defense is fitting and changing their fits, and those 2 guys make each other better.
And then finally, for me, my last one, could you just talk a little bit more about Toledo, whether it be offensively or defensively, some of the personnel, some of the concerns, what they're doing real well?
Yeah, I think just, personnel standpoint, they've got difference makers, at every level. Starting with the defense, I think their interior defensive tackles, number 12 and number 8, are excellent. Their edge setters are very disciplined. Their linebacker 38 is a downhill run and hit guy. In the secondary, they play a variety of techniques. Number 7 is an excellent football player. Their boundary safety. So just from a personnel standpoint, they present some challenges, and then add to that the scheme that they're implementing. Coach Karras, Vince does a great job with their defense. He's an excellent football coach, and offensively it's similar. Their quarterback is a difference maker. He's a power guy, big guy, strong arm, big body. We'll stand in there and take a hit and still deliver a really accurate throw. There's a variety of playmakers. The tight end is a really good player. The slot is a really good player. Their running back is excellent. Very physical up front. Coach Hallett's done a great job developing the offensive line and recruiting there. And, they're an excellent program. So whether it's a scheme or a personnel perspective, they present challenges.
Thank you, Coach, and good luck.
Absolutely. Thanks, Rob.
Any more questions for Coach? All right, thank you all.
Appreciate y'all being here.